When I was a girl, my favorite story was Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I wanted to be Alice. I wanted to go on adventures and find myself in a fantasy world. In my mind, the story of Alice's adventures seemed so fun, so interesting, and so fantastical. It wasn't clear to me then that Alice's pursuit was putting her in great peril, or that she was losing all sense of herself as she fervently and adamantly followed the White Rabbit. But in the end, Alice wakes up, and everything is just a dream. Everything is back to the way it was before. It's just a story, after all. I never would have imagined that I would spend 2 years of my life in my own personal wonderland. I never believed I would become Alice, but I did, and this was not a dream. My descent down the rabbit hole wasn't as elegant as Alice. I didn't land with a soft thump and then dust myself off. The descent was more like suddenly falling off a steep cliff and being ensnared in bramble and brush along the way. Try as I might, and I did try with ferocity, I could not stop gravity from enforcing its inalterable laws upon me. 1 minute, I was staring off into my daughter's bright future, and the next minute, I was watching her plummet into a world that was unfamiliar and frightening. Like Alice, I chased her, plunging headfirst in pursuit, hoping that if only I could catch her, I could make sense of it all the while knowing, somewhere in the pit of my soul, that my pursuit was futile. You can't make sense of nonsensical things. When she hit bottom, I followed closely behind. As she lay in a hospital bed clinging to life, I found myself lying on the floor, pinned down under the fist of fear, clinging to hope. In that moment, when I could feel nothing, when my body's defense mechanisms had numbed me to the excruciating pain, when the sounds escaping me were primal and unknown to me, I could not imagine how we could make our way back up to the precipice of the life we knew before. I did not understand, even then, how she fell down that hole. She had everything. I had done everything right, hadn't I? My mind could not accept what had happened. My baby, who came into this world with big brown eyes, had become a ghost. My darling daughter stood before me like a shadow of herself. She was a beauty queen, a talented dancer, a good kid, a great student, and a good kid. Now, a year later, she had dropped out of college, was in a destructive relationship, had given up her dream of being a dancer, and had tried to commit suicide. My beautiful, talented, intelligent daughter had tried to take her own life. I can't imagine that there is any way for a rational person to try to grasp how someone so young and promising could try to destroy themselves. It is impossible for a mother to comprehend how their child could be so forlorn, so lost, so unable to cope, that they would purposely fill their blood with toxic chemicals that were slowly and painfully obliterating their life. She was lost to me. And that invisible cord that tied me to her meant that I became lost too. I could not find my way, but I could not stop searching for her and trying to save her. I believed that if I could just find my daughter, not this pretender who had taken her place, then we would wake up and Wonderland would be just a dream. I drove myself nearly mad in this pursuit. When I did find her, she was mad too. In Wonderland, it's okay to be mad, but here they take mad people and lock them up. In a span of 48 hours, I had to deal with the possible loss of my child, the confirmation that she was a heroin addict, and that she was going to be committed to a mental facility. I was relieved. This is what Wonderland does to you. You never see things the same way again. What I knew and what I could cling to was that I had found her. She was alive. Everything else mattered little in comparison to that fact. You can fix almost anything, any mistake, or misstep, but you cannot fix dead. I felt the vague inkling of promise, and even though I was uncertain of what it meant anymore, it gave me comfort. Unlike Alice, I couldn't just wake up and have everything back to the way it was before. Wonderland had inalterably changed both of us. The path back up the rabbit hole was long and painful, and there were times when it felt unbearably impossible. As we navigated our way out together, I found there were times when we had to take our own path to reach the top. Releasing her was like letting go of my own heart. But as I watched her climb, I saw her appear as herself once again. I watched my daughter save herself. As she emerged through the rabbit hole, I was saved too. Wonderland is a real place. I hope you never have to visit. Thank you.